Hello, I hope you had a great break and are ready to learn some chemistry. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of our Canvas page just to make things a little bit easier for you to navigate and find the information that you need. So on our Canvas page, I would like you to begin at the introduction. This gives you lots of information about me and also about the course. So the instructor information gives you a little bit about my background, about Chem 100, gives you some information about the course, and then we get into the syllabus and the course components and the textbook. Okay, those are important pages to make sure that you read and understand what's being asked for you throughout the course of this semester. The university policies and procedures, academic honest policy, and these pages are there so that you understand what is the university expects, but I would say you don't have to read them in as much detail. And if you need a little additional help finding out information about online learning, I've also included some remote learning resources for you. Again, these don't need to be read in as great a detail as the first few pages. Okay, so the instructor information about Chem 100, syllabus, course components, and the course textbook. Those are the ones that you want to focus in on. Okay. The way that the Canvas page is set up is it goes in chronological order. So I have it set up by weeks. So week 1, I would like you to look at the introduction videos, and we're also going to be introducing chapter 1 of your textbook. And so there's information and lecture videos present for you. There are PowerPoint slides that you can download and take notes directly on your PowerPoint slides so that as you're listening, you can fill in keywords or work problems out as you go. Okay, so that'll be chapter 1. If you want to, you can use the navigation tabs at the bottom. So there's a previous, there's also a next button, and that will navigate you through one page at a time. You can also go back to the home if you want to see overall what's going on. Okay, and again, we're going to work through it sequentially in chronological order in these modules. If you want to ever check your grades, there is a grades tab on the left-hand side that you can click and look at those grades. People, so if you want to see who else is in the course. The syllabus, so the syllabus is a handy tool because it outlines information and the due dates that are coming up. Okay. Another important navigation tool on the left-hand side is the Cisco Webex. So Cisco Webex has 2 different parts to it. So one is the classroom collaboration. This is an instant messaging platform that you can message. There's a course message board set up so that you can ask any questions that you have. And this will also be where you're going to make your introductions for one of the first assignments for the course. Okay, is in this classroom collaboration. You're also welcome to download the Webex app onto your phone. If that is a preference for you, then you can quickly send messages as well. The other part is office hours. And so you can schedule office hours. There's no times this particular week, but you can set up office hours just by a click of a button. You'll schedule a meeting, and it'll send both of us reminder emails if there's anything that you want to talk about in greater detail. Okay, so those are some navigation things that may help you out. There's also a to-do list on the right-hand side, gives you information about the upcoming projects and due dates for the course. Okay, so one question that you may have is, this is a completely online course, how are we going to handle the labs? And that's a completely valid question to ask. So some of the labs are what we call dry labs. It won't require any materials from you. You're going to be looking at internet sources and working through questions that are provided to you. So let me go to an example here. So dry lab 1. Okay, there's some videos, some documents to read. There's a couple of videos to watch. And then it tells you what you need to complete in order to completely finish the assignment. So for this dry lab 1, we're talking about safety. And so you do need to complete a safety agreement, which is a survey that says you understand there are some hazards to doing chemistry at home. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that you wouldn't normally do at home. So we're going to be dealing with household chemicals like water and vinegar and things that you would find around your house. In one of the later labs, you're going to make some cabbage juice. Okay. And so that's a safety agreement to say that you understand the safety information that was provided to you. There is in this particular example, there's an Excel report form. So you download Excel, fill in some information using the directions provided to you in the document for the lab. And then you're going to submit that assignment. And then there is also a quiz, checking to see that you have understood the safety information. So this is an example of a dry lab. The materials are provided to you and you work through the information. Okay. The other type of lab is a wet lab, and I'm going to get to the materials list. So there's a materials to purchase. I've already sent this out in an email prior to the semester, but if you haven't purchased them, it's something you want to do towards the beginning of the semester, at least the first several items. So you're going to be working with things like taking measurements on a digital scale. So you're going to need a digital scale, and I've tried to keep the costs down and approximately what you would have to spend if you were purchasing the lab manual for an in-person class. So a small digital scale, safety goggles, which need to be worn for every wet lab. There'll be 6 of them throughout the course of the semester. A graduated cylinder, so you can measure some liquids. A thermometer. A ruler, and if you have a ruler that measures centimeters at home, it's not something you have to additionally purchase. Okay, some pH paper for measuring the acidity or basicity or alkalineness of compounds. Medicine dropper for adding drops. Okay, a funnel. So those are things that you may not have around your house and are going to require you to order and take some time to ship. So you do want to get that done relatively soon after the course starts. There's some other items that you may have around your house. So like a coffee filter, some sand. Maybe you can go to a local playground and pick up small amount of sand. It's not going to require much. If that's not an option, you can also purchase it. Beakers are not required, so if you have disposable cups or small containers, that's perfectly fine. You can use those. Beakers are just a handy way to use them. So this is an optional thing that you can buy, not required. Okay, some red cabbage that we're going to make cabbage juice out of, salt, bottled or distilled water, aluminum foil, and again, if you have some in your place, please don't go out and buy more. This is just items that we will be using throughout the course of the semester. I wanted to get you a list. Vinegar, baking soda, a few potato chips, and some paper towels. So these are things that you are going to need in order to carry out those wet labs. Okay, so let's look at briefly what a wet lab will entail. So let's go to the first wet lab. Okay, I do give you a list of materials that are required for the lab, and then there's a procedure that you can print out or have handy so you can follow along and make the measurements that you need. This particular one is, going to have an Excel file that you fill out, and the Excel file gives you some information, okay, whether or not you've correctly done the calculations. So anywhere where you see these incorrects, if you've entered the information properly, that'll change to correct. So you have some feedback before you have to submit your lab. Okay, and then you'll submit your completed Excel form to this Wet Lab 1 assignment. Okay, and again, if any questions arise as you are carrying out this lab, please message me in Cisco Webex, or maybe somebody else that has been working on the lab can also answer questions. So if you know the answer and you see a message come up, please feel free to answer any questions that occur, and I will also answer questions as well. Okay, so if something happens that you have questions on, please feel free to use that resource to get some answers quickly. Okay. So that is a brief overview. If you do have any questions that arise, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and I really look forward to working with you this semester. Thank you.